केशवदीता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे 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 तव कर कमलवरे नाकाम अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तन वृंदाम केशवदीता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे काम अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तन वृंदा केशवदीता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय भक्ता प्रहलाद जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल 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 नरसिंह भगवान की जय
जय विष्णुपाद परमं सुग्रीवाद स्वामी श्रीलुपाद की जय नित्युल्लभ विष्णुपाद परम सुग्रीवाद सदस्य श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत शास्त्री ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद गौर कृष्णदास बाबा महाराज की जय नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय ब्रह्म से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त की जय जय नाम संप्रदाय की जय Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra movement ki jai, ISKCON Windsor ki jai. All goes to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All goes to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All goes to Sri Guru Guranga Jai, Sri Guranga Jai, Nidai Gaur Pramanande. Hare Krishna.
Good. All right, so here we are with yet another program, Saturday program, and the good part is it's been 6 months now since we started here, and this is the last one we have for this year. So I think we all should congratulate ourselves for being consistent and coming regularly, and building up this congregation. It's really evolving well. We have some issues, we'll have some starting problems. We are trying to get a permanent place. Hopefully that will happen with Krishna's mercy, and we will see how things go. The desire is there, and he will show us the way to have our own place, and we will see how things are. And we have some big programs coming up next year, so can I go ahead and announce, or you want to do it?
We'll be announcing in the next.
Okay, we'll announce in the next couple of sessions, but we have some big programs coming up. Our anniversary program will come up in May. We have some big Kirtan program lined up. So I'll not spoil the fun here, but let's pray for the best things to come in the next year and the years after. With that, we will start our program today, and we had a Kirtan. Today I will be talking about the Vedic discourse. Today is I will be talking about. My topic is very simple. What is a prayer? What are the elements of a prayer? Who should we pray to, and how to pray? Simple. Sounds simple, but as we start digging into it, you will see there are a lot of things that will come out, and hopefully that will be an interesting conversation, and let's see how things go. All right, so Prabhu, I'll give the mic to you. We'll start with Jai Radha Madhava. Prabhu, can you hold it for him, or you can hold it for him?
I'll do it, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you.
Holding like this? Oh, whichever is comfortable for Prabhu.
No. I think this would be fine, right?
Both are okay. This is just for the recording. You go ahead.
Jaya Kunja Vihari,
Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihari,
Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihari,
Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihari,
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Gimaranari, Jaya Gimaranari,
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Girivaradhari,
Jasodanandana Bhajajanarangana,
Yashodanandana Vrajajanarangana,
Jasodanandana Bhajajanarangana,
Yashodanandana Vrajajanarangana,
Jasodanandana Bhajajanarangana,
Yashodanandana Vrajajanarangana,
Yamuna Tira Vanachai, Yamuna Tira
Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav,
Jai Radha Madhav, Jai Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Jai Radha Madhav.
Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Kunja Vihari, Jaya Kunja Vihari,
Jai Kunja Jaya Kunja Bihari,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jagat Jaya Srila Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Guru Prabhupada,
Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Bodhisattva Srila Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva,
Jaya Guru Deva,
Bodhisattva Srila Gurudeva. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. जय राधा माधव की जय, जय कुंज बिहारी की जय, श्रीमद गुरुदेव की जय, अपना गुरु बलदेव की जय, जय नित्य गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि 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 बोल।
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. All right. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna. And thank you for coming. You know, you're determined to come and you're showing your affection and love for Krishna and for the rest of the Vaishnavas here. So it's customary, since the topic is on prayer, so obviously we have to start with a pranam mantra. So we have a set of pranam mantras that are actually prescribed by our acharyas. So I could have gone through the whole thing myself, but I'll try to explain to you what those pranam mantras are, if some of you are not familiar. Is everyone familiar with the pranam mantras? Oh, you're not? Okay, so I'll start from here. So our first pranam mantra is our Guru Pranama. So Guru is right here, Acharya, Prabhupada. So we'll start from there and we say, it goes like this. Om Agnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmiligetum Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So we are first offering our prayer to our Guru. So the way these prayers build up is when we reach Krishna, we have gone through a succession of the way we have received our instructions from Krishna through the successive discipline of all the acharyas. So we go back in the reverse way. So we just say, here's how we start our prayers, and we finally give our prayers to Krishna. So that is what we are doing here. So the next one is Rupa Pranama. So Rupa Goswami is one of the Goswamis we have, Shed Goswamis. So we have one of them is Rupa Goswami. Hare Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Mahyam Dadati Swa Pradantikam. And the Mangala Charana is Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yudapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupa Sagrajatam Sagana Lagunantam Tamsajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Krishna Vishakan Sri Vishakan. It's difficult to break it and then go through. It's not an easy thing, but I'll do my best. Srila Prabhupada. Now we are coming to Srila Prabhupada, and his Pranati prayers is Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pasha Deshtarane. So that is one set of prayers we have. And Sri Vaishnava. Then we have the Vaishnava Pranam mantra. This is basically to address all the Vaishnavas in the room or wherever we come across. It is respecting the Vaishnavas to pray to them and say, hey, please lead us to Krishna. So we are taking the help of the Vaishnavas in the congregation, in the society. Okay, that's the next prayer. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. All right, and then Krishna prayer pranam mantra. Hey Krishna karuna sindhu deenabandho jagatpate gopesha gopika kanta radha kanta namostute. And then Radha Rani. Tapta kanchana gaurangi radhe vrindavaneshwari vrishabhanu sute devi pranamami haripriya. I can do one more thing after this thing. Since you are new to this pranam mantras, there is a PDF that I had circulated with everyone in the past. I don't mind sending it one more time. So that has got the meaning description for each and every prayer that we have. So that way, you'll understand when each of these things are broken down by each word and what they mean. All right? Okay, good. Panchatattva Mahamantra. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. So those are then the obvious big Mahamantra which everybody is Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So these are the different mantras that we recite. And then since we also make some references to Gita as well as Bhagavatam, so we have a special invocation mantra for Bhagavatam. And Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Udirayate. So this is a set of prayers that we have to first honor the scriptures before we start getting into our, even at home when you're reading the Bhagavad Gita, you're reading the Bhagavatam, there's a set of prayers that you have to do to invoke the blessings of the acharyas and the Lord, basically. That's a simple thing. Clear so far? Very good. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Can everybody repeat once? All right. We made it so far, clearing the mantras. So we started with saying what is a prayer. Now everybody have their own way of saying what a prayer can be. I was doing some research, and what I found a simple answer somewhere while I was doing this is a prayer is a sacred gateway to connect with Krishna, and through this gateway we connect with Krishna and pray for his mercy to get us out of the miseries that we have in this material world. A simple thing. So how does this gateway work? So you have your Atma, then you have Paramatma. So you're addressing the Paramatma within you, and to make that that is what a prayer is. It is establishing that relationship, and then you try to connect with the Lord or with Krishna. A simple thing. I mean, there can be many ways you can go about, but I felt this was probably the best definition of what a prayer can be when I was doing some research and trying to find a good definition. And then the next obvious question is, why should we pray? So I just spoke about there are miseries around us in this material world, and so we have Kunta. Kunta means miseries. So in this material world we live with a lot of miseries around us, and why Kunta is there are no miseries. So by offering a prayer, we are trying to go away from this miserable world to a place where we can a place like Vaikuntha, which is where you are with the Lord. You can do service. So the whole idea of what is the goal of our life is basically to establish that relationship with Krishna and to serve him. And where can we serve the best is Vaikuntha, right? So that's the place where you want to be. So that is what we do by offering these prayers. We are doing a process of cleansing ourselves with all the things that we have in between within us. All those things are taken away. Then we get purified, and that takes us closer to Krishna. So that is what we are doing. So the prayer is one form of doing it, and we will be talking a little more on that as we go deeper and deeper into this topic. So I kept talking about miseries and anxieties and whatnot. So where does this anxiety come from? A simple answer is we are anxious to make money, and we are equally more anxious to protect that money that we are making. So that's a cycle that keeps on going on and on and on. And we see others having more than us, we feel miserable. You feel envious. So that's the kind of state we are in. And in this material world, it is a way of life. We want the best for us. We want everything going our way, and you want more than your neighbor. So I mean, it's just that's how it is. And even if you see what is the philosophy of Vedanta? It says it comes from Purusha Sukta. So the four principles are the Purusharthas as given by the Purusha Sukta. Can anyone tell me what those are? Dharma, you must have heard this. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. Simple. So they actually, what the Purusha, if you go deeper into, start reading into what these Purusha Suktas mean and what they try to tell us, there is a specific order in which you are supposed to be, having a balance between all these different, four principles. So one thing should lead to the next. The end state is moksha, right? So dharma, and then you have artha, kama, and moksha. So that is the order in which it is supposed to be, practiced. The problem we have in our daily lives is very simple. We want more and more. I just said, that kind of creates an imbalance within ourselves. So that is where we always end up in that kind of a miserable state where one thing leads to other. So we say, okay, here is where you try to make some money, and if your wish is fulfilled, then you want more. You are never satisfied with what you have gained, right? So that is kind of where the problem is. But the Purusha Suktas actually what they prescribe is to have a equal balance, and that there's a lot of things that are prescribed there. That is not the reason why we are here today talking about, that's another topic for another day. But I wanted to give you that idea why we have these kind of issues going around us. Even in Gita, Krishna says, there are 3 gates to hell. There is a particular the sloka, Trividam Narakasyedam Dvaram Nashanam Atmanaha Kama Krodha Tada Loba Tasmat Edat Trayam Trajet. So this is what Krishna is also talking about. What he's saying is Kama Krodha Loba, and he says Etat Trayam Trajet. Sorry, I'm not able to pronounce it. It's Trajet. Means you give up on these things. That's what I think that comes out of this particular shloka. And so the 3 things we just talked about, the 3 gates to hell. One is Kama, Krodha, Lobha. Those 3 things. And I also spoke about the Sangha Sangas Upajayate. What that means is, as the lust, having lust is not, we are talking about something in a bad way. Lust is also passion, to own something, to do something. So what Krishna is saying is, divert that passion that you have for material things, and then give up all those, the bad aspects of that. The positive spin of that is, focus all your energies on me. Try to, get closer to me, and you get liberated. I think that's the essence of what that shloka was trying to tell us, right? Any questions on what I just said? And then we also covered this. I think Prabhu has spoken about this in one of his lectures. I also talked about this, the 3 types of miseries. Everybody should be familiar with this. There are 3 types. For those who are not familiar with it, one is Adhyatmika, then one is Adi Bhautika, then other one is Adi Daivika. So the 3 things, the first one, Adhyatmika, is we create for our own self, whether it's through our mind, from our body, through our body, whatever it is, we are creating that misery for ourselves. The second is Adi Bhautika, is someone else is doing it and creating that misery for us. And the third one is Adi Daivika, which is beyond your control, which is, a bad snowstorm happening, you cannot handle it. You're just you're tough luck, right? So that is Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika. So by offering a prayer, now what Krishna is telling us is, even this is something, Prabhu, you spoke about that in Sikshastakam. So what Krishna has spoken about in Sikshastakam, he says, Cheto Darpanam Arjanam, and it ends with Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So what Krishna is saying is, hey, you want to get out of all these things, you have to do Sankirtan. Sankirtan is focus all your energy onto him. So that is what, prescribed in our various things, whether it's Sikshastakam, whether it is Bhagavatam, whether it is Bhagavad Gita, everything is telling us the same. The message is loud and clear. And it is told to us in multiple times. It's not just once. In fact, if you see, there are about more than 80 references where Krishna is just talking about, surrender to me, surrender to me, surrender to me. So he's talking about it in multiple ways, just to reinforce and re-emphasize the fact, if you have not understood or got the message clearly, that this is what he's talking about. In the context might be slightly different whenever he's talking about it, but that is the message he's trying to give us. Now, when we are all praying to Krishna, so we are all devotees, Krishna also from Bhagavad Gita has a nice way of explaining what the different types of, devotees he normally recognizes, coming to him. And that is coming from a sloka from Bhagavad Gita. I'll try to say it here. Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritano arjuna Artho Jignasur Arthati Gnani Sa Bharatarshabha. So what Krishna has talked about here, there are 4 types. One is Sukritana, one who's pious. Su is good, right? So somebody who is pious. Other one is Arthat, the one who is distressed. I will give some examples of this as we go along, further along. And Jignasu is someone who's inquisitive. And the last one is Artardi, who's desiring wealth. So these are the 4 types. So each one have their own reasons why they pray to Krishna. So that is a part of your prayer. And end of the day, the way the prayer is heard is the kind of sincerity that you have in you. So that will be part of the elements of the prayer that I'll be talking about in shortly. So that is one way. One is you pray on your own. The other one is you also you get in association with a pure devotee. So people who have been practicing Krishna consciousness for years and years. So they become the pure devotees, right? Because they have recognized, they have gone through a process of self-realization and God realization. So it's first of all knowing who you are and what is your relationship with Krishna, and the other one is knowing who is Krishna. So, and then establishing that relationship. So by having association with such pure devotees, then you get to get purified and you become a pious person. Basically, that's what this verse is also telling us. And how this all things get connected is everything is through a prayer, right? That is what I'm trying to say. The type of devotees, what we have to pray for, what is a prayer. So we try to establish those fundamental things. Okay. Now we said one thing, or if I have not mentioned this before. How do we know that when we pray to Krishna, Krishna is responding back to us? So that's a logical question. Because some people, how people actually, I'll tell you, this is practically happening in everyone's life. You go to pray to Krishna or any god that you have, depending on which sampradaya you are part of, right? So you pray to the Lord, and then your wishes are not fulfilled. Then what happens is, in India, they go to the next god. So it's like, a thing. But what they fail to understand is, it is the faith that one has to build in your prayers, the sincerity that comes through that. And then the Lord will basically react to your prayers at some point. And that is going to happen only the process of, realization that you go through, the purification that you have to go through. So that is what the whole idea is. So one of the important shlokas that we have is Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Na Sochati Na Kankshati Sama Sarvesu Bhutesu Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. So what this means is one who is situated and realized of the importance of the relationship that one needs to have, and who is not desiring anything. So normally what we pray for is, there's always an expectation. I want this. I want, if you're having small children, my child has to go to through an education process, get to the best of the universities. It all depends on where you are situated in your life. I'm 64, so for me, my expectations are totally different than someone who is much younger, correct? So, but everybody has an expectation, end of the day. So what Krishna is trying to say is, for those who are actually praying to me selflessly, without having anything, no expectations, I'm guaranteeing you that they will come to me. So that's what Krishna is saying. But how do you come to that stage is not an easy process. It may take you one lifetime, it may take you several lifetimes, but you have to go through that process. And there are many examples of why that is important. And there's a particular key word in the verse I just recited. It says, Brahma Bhuta stage. Brahma Bhuta stage is, becoming one with the Absolute. Now, there, again, depending on where you are situated. For, I don't know how many of you have heard this word Mayavadi. You're familiar? Okay. Impersonalist, yes, correct. And for them, the end state is Brahmabhuta stage. That's it, one with the Absolute. But when you come to Krishna consciousness, for us in ISKCON, we go beyond. What our acharyas say is, go beyond this stage. And that is what we say, the stage where you are able to get build that relationship and also render devotional service to Krishna. Welcome. Since you have just walked in, what we are talking about here is a topic that I've chosen. This is on prayer, and what are the elements of a prayer. I'm just walking through some of the topics. So, welcome. Yeah. So, I lost my thought here. So, yeah. So we were talking about what it means to us in Krishna consciousness, and is to go beyond that stage. We want to do devotional service, and this is that recognition is important. That is what distinguishes us from the other people who just stop at the stage, where they're saying we are one with the absolute. So now the question that comes is, what do we gain from the prayer? So I just said everyone has an expectation, and then again I'm saying we have to do a prayer. So you must be getting confused as to what do you gain then, if you should not expect anything in return from your prayers, and Krishna is telling you that, and then we are also saying do your prayers. So what this means is basically is something that I would draw my inspiration from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this comes from the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, and in case how many of you are familiar with Chaitanya Charitamrita? Okay, so again I'll look at you, Prabhu, just in case, since you were new to this. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his whole life of 48 years is broken down into three parts, three segments. So Adi Lila, Madhya Lila, Antya Lila. So when we say that, so each one has a very specific, what we have learnt, how people have described his existence 500 years ago. So Adi Lila is when his first, I think, 18 years or a little longer. So how he has gone through a process of realization, and then how he has developed all those good things, how he has Sankirtan, the whole movement of Sankirtan started with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So that whole process, how he has evolved into that stage. So that is the Adi Lila. Madhya Lila is when he goes little beyond, and then he kind of builds those concepts of the pure transcendental love for Krishna, and all those things are documented. So that's just where those three chapters come from, okay? And so from this Madhya Lila, there is a particular verse that I'm going to recite here. Hari Shabde Nanartha Dui Mukhyatma Sarva Amangala Hare Premadaye Harimana. So what this means is, through the prayers, the question was, what I was asking you is, what do we gain from the prayer? So what this particular shloka is telling us is, Krishna takes away anything inauspicious from us. So if he's taking anything inauspicious, what is he giving us in return? It has to be something auspicious, right? He's giving us bhakti. He's giving us a chance to practice our bhakti, which is the goal of every Vaishnava, basically, is to develop that bhakti, so that you get to the stage where you get the liberation that you're looking for, away from all these three miseries that we've been talking about. So the whole sloka can be broken down. Sarva Amangala Hari, taking away anything inauspicious. Premadya Mana Hari is giving anything auspicious, which is bhakti. And now that brings us to the central core concept of, we just talked about what is a prayer, why should we pray, what do we gain from a prayer. Now the next thing is, the elements of prayer is equally important. Because, when will Krishna listen to our prayers? You will come to know, and you'll realize this only when you understand what are the elements of a prayer. What is important, what is significant. And one of the things that we always recognize and we always talk about is the way Krishna, Radharani is the dearest person for Krishna. Why? is because the mood that she has when she's prayed, doing her, giving her affection and love to Krishna, and the way she's serving Krishna is that mood. That mood is very important. So that's where, this also comes from we have many different scriptures or prayers. One of the prayers is the Shat Goswami Ashtakam. You must have gone through that. It's a, go ahead, Prabhu.
Do you want me to?
Just one line, yeah, he's there.
Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Paro Premo Amrito Ambo Nidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priya Priya Kara Nirmasara Pujita Radha Krishna Padaro Bindu Bhajana Nande Namotaliko Mande Rupa Sanatana Raghu Yoga Sri Jiva Gopalako.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So that is, Ashtakam is 8 verses. So this is something you will see. Damodar Ashtakam right here. So there are 8 verses. So Ashta is 8. So Shat Goswami Ashtakam is also 8 verses. So every verse ends with, what was the last line that you said, Prabhu? Can you just repeat that one more time?
Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghu Yoga Sri Jiva Gopalako.
Yeah. So these are the Shat Goswami is all the the different Goswamis that we have in our parampara. So this is a prayer that recognizes all these Goswamis that we have. So it's a very important. What this Shat Goswami Ashtakam is telling us is actually this is the core of what I'm going to talk about is the mood, and I'm talking about the elements, right? So here, it goes on to describe more of the mood of Radharani. That is, unfortunately, I don't. He is a Bengali, so he can probably talk a little more than effectively than me.
I'm planning to, I don't know, like didn't have any discussion with you, but the next session I was planning to talk about the service.
Sure. Oh, very good. So I thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for making it easy for me. So he's going to talk about the Shat Goswami Ashtakam. So, but when you come for the next lecture, whenever that happens, you will understand a little more in context of the mood of Radharani and why it is important for us. And then it also talks about there are 2 types of prayers. One is chanted with the mood of love and surrender, which is what we just talked about, right? The Radharani's mood and everything. So one is, the first one is not expecting anything, but the second one is you still have the mood. You are a devotee. You are praying to Krishna, but you also are expecting something in return. So those are the 2 types of prayers that happen. I'm not saying one is obviously the better one, but you cannot get there without going through this other one where you have to expect something in return, but you have to slowly over time find that balance where you say, as you go through the realization process, you yourself will realize what is important for you and what is not. For me, when I was young, those expectations, those desires are totally irrelevant to me now when I look back. So it is a journey one has to go through. Again, it may be happening in one lifetime, it may happen in several lifetimes, but have to go through the process. So that's where this happens. But if you don't make that effort, if you don't make that go through the realization process, you'll never know what it takes for you to get to that point where you need to be. And then we also have to recognize this very important aspect is I just talked about the mood, and then the most important thing is how to pray, right? Now without knowing this, the whole idea of offering a prayer is meaningless. And who is better than Prahlad Maharaj can tell us what, how to pray? Because he has gone through a lot of things, and his own father was, troubling him so much, but he never gave up on his the prayers, basically. And this is again coming from Bhagavatam, from the 7th canto, and it goes like this: Sri Prahlada Vacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmanivedanam. So this is talking about the 9 different processes that we have of, whether you call it bhakti, you call it devotion, you call it, these are the important things of what you need to do. So the first one is Shravanam. Shravanam is hearing about the transcendental holy name and form, qualities, paraphernalia and pastimes of Krishna. When we say paraphernalia, I'm talking about, the things that Krishna has got: a flute, he's got this, he's got that, the kind of ornaments he's wearing, everything is important. Everything describes, that is as good as thinking of Krishna himself. So that's the Shravanam part, that is by reading or hearing those things, that builds the kind of faith. It takes you from a stage of, when you go, the different stages of bhakti. It starts with Shraddha Bhakti. Shraddha is when you start building a faith, and then somewhere down the road you start developing ruchi. So ruchi is when you have a taste. So that changes the whole thing. Once you start having the taste of the devotion that you have for Krishna, it's a game changer. That's when everything becomes very crystal clear to you what is important versus what is not important. So you have to reach that stage, and then you'll go through that stage. And what takes you there is the 9 different processes. It starts with Shravanam and Kirtanam. Kirtanam is nothing but chanting of the Lord. And so normally when we say chanting, we're talking either doing a japa, which is traditionally what we know. Chanting is also about doing Kirtan, like what we just did. We had a Hare Rama, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the whole Kirtan we did. So that also is part of the Kirtanam process. Then Smaranam. Smaranam is remembering the Lord. Okay. And then Padasevanam. Padasevanam is serving the lotus. This is a topic I would love to talk some other day. The lotus feet of the Lord, why it is important. What is actually on the lotus feet of the Lord? Whether it's Krishna, there's something, the different padas than you have for Radharani. So this is a very interesting. I was reading through this some time ago, maybe 2 months ago. I found it very interesting. Oh, this is something, we'll talk about it some other day. So Archanam. Archanam is offering the Lord, with 16 types of paraphernalia, which is Shodasho, Para, the puja. There's a defined process. For our prayers to be effective, this comes more in the temple, actually. The Shodashopachara puja is more applied to the temple. There's a very rigid way you do it. How you do offer the prayers. It starts from Mangalarti all the way till the last Aarti that happens for the day, and how you do the Bhogarti. There's a different, well-defined process. And then we have Vandanam. So this is where I think ties into what we are talking today. Vandanam is also a prayer. It's the same Sanskrit word of prayer is Vandanam. So offering prayers to the Lord, right? And Dasyam is, the best example is Hanuman. He always has served Lord Rama, right? So that is Dasyam. Sakyam is again the relationship Arjuna has with Krishna. He says, I'll give you some examples. Atmanivedanam is again surrendering everything to Krishna or to Vishnu. And the best example is Bali Maharaj. So they're very good examples. I can give you, start from very beginning, but that's not what is important. What is important for us is to focus on Vandanam aspect. So these 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service, and what our Srila Prabhupada says is one who is good in these 9 processes is supposed to be the most learned person. And even this comes from Prahlad Maharaj himself. He is telling his own father, when this happens. So that actually, how much time we have? Are we good on time, Ritika?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Oh, I have a lot to cover then. Okay, so the important aspect is these 9 different processes. Even if you are good in one of them, you are still going to be successful. So that is the point I'm going to leave you with. And then there are some notable prayers. One of them is right behind me, Damodara Ashtakam. So this is what the Narasimha Purana, I'll take one reference from that. It states, any person who comes before the deity of Lord Krishna and begins to chant a different prayer is immediately relieved from all the reactions of sinful activities, and is guaranteed to enter into Vaikuntha Loka. Now the question is, what it's prescribed is each one of us have to learn a set of prayers and recite them in full when we go to the temple. That is the key thing that I want to leave you with. And there are a lot of prayers, we have either from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. I'll give you a few examples from Bhagavatam itself. Gajendra Moksham is one thing, a set of prayers, a beautiful thing. Gopi Geet we have, Kunti Maharani's prayers we have, Prahlad Maharaj prayers, it's a set of I think 32 verses are there. Then Bhishma Stuti is there. Nagapatni's prayers, when Kaliya Mardan is happening, so that there's a set of prayers that happens. Then Dhruva Maharaj also has his own set of prayers. And these are from Bhagavatam. I'll give you some non-Bhagavatam set of prayers. We have Sikshashtakam. This is a very important thing. I love this, and thank you, Prabhu, for doing this last week, I guess. I missed your lecture, but I am a big fan of, a big believer of Sikshashtakam prayers. Brahma Samhita is another one. Damodara Ashtakam, right behind me. So each one should probably select one. When you go to a temple, remember this is what you need to do. You recite your own prayer to Krishna. That is the relationship you maintain, you build. So that is one, and this is prescribed in Bhagavatam. It is not something that I am saying just like that. Now, one important thing is when you offer a prayer, Srila Prabhupada says you have to offer the prayer, which including obeisances that you do. Every time we come to that, what we do, we all offer prayers, right? So there is offering the prayers respectfully, and these are what we call as pranams. So that could be Dandavat Pranams, what we call, which is part of our greetings that we have from one Vaishnava to another. And then for Prabhujis we call Shashtanga Pranam. So you lie flat on your stomach and then extend your arms like this. So that is the Shashtanga Pranam. And for Matajis it is the Panchang Pranam. So this is something you have to do. And there are some offenses that you should not do when you are offering your pranams. I will end my thing here. If I can extend by another 5 minutes, I would love to. So we should not offer obeisances with one hand, like holding a bead bag in one hand and trying to offer mainly for the Prabhujis I'm talking about. You should offer your obeisances with full arms extended, touching the ground. So that is for the Prabhujis. And do not offer obeisances with one's full body fully covered. This probably some people do, so it is not prescribed as something you should not be doing. Do not offer obeisances with one's back to the deities. So you should not be sitting against the deities. You should not offer obeisance on the left side of the deity. And you should not offer obeisances very near to the deity again. So people who, like Indra Yamuna Prabhu, when they do offer the prayers, they don't get too close. They do their prayers in a way, but they don't get too close to the deities when they are offering their obeisances. And this is where I think I would end my lecture here with two things. Can I get 2 more minutes, please? Yeah. So it's very interesting. One should hear the story of Sudama. So this is where, because I said what are the elements of prayer. So Sudama was actually, there are 2 Sudamas. One Sudama is from Dwaraka, who is a friend of Krishna. We all know that story. What I'm talking about is a different Sudama. He is from Mathura. He's a garland maker. So when Krishna and Balaram, they visit Mathura, they go to the house of Sudama, and he makes the garlands with the best of the fragrant flowers. Krishna is so impressed. He says, what can I do for you? So Sudama talks about 3 things. He says, it's a so api vavre achalam bhaktam tasmin eva khilatmani tad bhaktesu cha saurhardam bhutesu cha daya param. So what this means is achalam bhaktim, unshakable devotion. He's asking for 3 desires from Krishna. He's saying, give me achalam bhaktim, which is undesirable, unshakable devotion to you, Krishna. Second one is sauhardam bhaktesu, which means who is dear to you, Krishna, give me a chance to serve them also, develop my friendship with them. So that is what my second desire is. The third thing is dayam param. Dayam param is basically transcendental compassion for all living beings, who are dear to you, who's actually also living in the same place where we are. So he says, these are the 3 things, please help me. So these are the 3 things of what I call the elements of a prayer. So when we offer our prayers, it is in that mood that I'm talking about is where we are talking about. One is, our prayers should never say, I want this. Our prayers should say, Krishna, let me serve you. Let me have the devotion for you, unshakable devotion, and let me have a friendship with all the things that are dear to you, and let me have that compassion for all the other living beings in the universe. So those are the elements of a prayer, and that is what is the foundation or the mood of our Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So basically that is what it is. There can be a lot more things that I can talk about. I just don't have time. I came prepared with a lot more details, but we'll save it for some other day. So any questions? Let me take a pause here and see if anyone has a question for me. So what did we cover? We said what is a prayer, the types of prayer, how to pray and how not to pray. Then we also spoke about the elements of a prayer. So these are interesting things. There's a lot more I can share. I can put it in a PDF and give it to you. You can share it with everyone else, because there's just half of what I came prepared with. I didn't realize this is going to take so much time, but there are so many things that one can talk about. There are 3 types of moods in our prayer that are coming from Bhagavatam again, and I don't know whether she'll allow me to continue, but I will just talk about 2 more minutes, Mataji. Okay, good. So this is important. The mood I spoke about, I kept on talking about mood, Radharani's mood. How do you know what those things are? If I don't tell you those, then I think you will be clueless and you'll be wondering if this lecture was half finished. So this again comes from Bhagavatam. So the first one is Dainya Bodhika. So this is one of the moods in this process of cleansing our hearts. Now I keep talking about cleansing. So this is in the process of cleansing of our hearts, we acutely become aware of our imperfections, right? And then what we do, we end up offering our prayers humbly and meekly and saying, please forgive me, I had a lot of imperfections, I had a lot of things, and please forgive me. So that is one mood that you are offering your prayers. The second one is Lalasamai. Lalasamai this is an advanced stage of spiritual life, because now you have acknowledged that you have some imperfections. Now this is where the second stage, or the advanced stage, where you are trying to overcome those imperfections that you have, and then you want to express your love for Krishna and ask with a desire to serve more and more and more. And this is a very interesting stage. And this takes us to the last stage, the end stage where we should be, which is probably what I call the closest to the mood of Radharani. It is called Sampratamika. So I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce it properly. So Sam means complete. So, and Prardhana, we know, it's a prayer, right? And then Atma is soul, right? So this, what it says is this form of prayer is complete. It satisfies the soul also. It's not just about you, it's because the soul is the one that connects to Krishna, right? So by having that form of mood, you really get totally closer, that much closer to Krishna. And this is actually an interesting stage where you are offering your prayer, you're listening to the Lord's response. So now you're talking to Krishna. You're talking like, you have a living entity right next to you. When you offer your prayers, you're talking to, if you have a Laddu Gopal, then you say, can I offer you this? Can I offer you that? So it's a kind of, bonding that you have with the deities that you have in your house, or the deities that you come to the temple and you see those deities. You try to build that kind of relationship. So that is the complete stage where you need to be, and it takes some kind of realization. First is you need to identify what those imperfections are within yourself, and then by overcoming those, then you kind of engage with the Lord. So that's the mood that I'm talking about. Now, one interesting thing is when we speak of story, everybody knows the story of Gajendra Moksham, right? Gajendra Moksham, we know. Krishna came and liberated Gajendra, the elephant. Why did Krishna listen to Gajendra's prayers? Interesting thing, actually, this is where I was stunned when I was going through that thing. I was preparing for this lecture. I said, wow, why did Krishna listen to Gajendra? I pray, you pray, everybody is praying to Krishna, but why did Krishna listen to Gajendra, an animal on top of that, and an elephant? I mean, not to belittle anything, but I'm just saying, the reason why they say is it's the sincerity of the prayer, the mood that I was talking about, right? So those are the things. And then actually this Gajendra, the fight that happens, does anybody know how long it went on for? 1,000 years. The fight between the crocodile and Gajendra, that lasted a long time. And at that point in time, Gajendra actually in his previous life was a king, a very pious king. His name was Indrayumna. So yeah, he was a very pious king, and in the next life he had he gets a curse from one of the rishis, because when he's thinking of Krishna and doing his prayers, he doesn't realize there is a rishi who has come and he has forgotten to recognize the yeah. So he gets the curse to become an elephant. So that's the story of Gajendra. But he remembers the prayer that he was always offering to Krishna in his previous life. That's the prayer that he recites when he actually is in trouble and he thinks of Krishna and he surrenders to Krishna totally. So there are three things happening here. One is the total surrender is what makes Krishna come to the rescue of Gajendra. With that, I will end my discussion here. I hope this was useful to you in some ways. And there was a lot more that I was wanting to talk to, but Mataji, she is not going to let me complete. There are I'll leave this to you. We'll talk about this another time. Can we offer prayers to others? Can we ask others to pray for us? Is that okay? What does everybody think of that? That's also an important thing. It is because everybody have a set of cleansing process that's happening. You have a reaction to there's a karma. Everybody is having a set of karma. So by asking others to pray for you, are you bypassing that process of karma that you have to go through? So interesting thoughts. I leave it because I don't have time to talk about those things. But end of the day, it's always what Krishna wants. You have to recognize that, and The short answer I'll give you, because you again will start wondering why I left it incomplete. The answer is yes. You can ask others to pray for you, and you can offer prayers to others, always not expecting anything in return. And it is reaching out to Krishna, basically, to let him decide what is good for others or good for you. Simple. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So last thing you mentioned is very important. I'm just reiterating it. Yeah, praying for others.
Mm-hmm.
If we can pray for others, that means our heart, is being cleansed.
Yeah.
It is in the process of cleansing.
Correct.
Because
correct.
praying for self is easy.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone will do it. But Prabhupada told, try to pray for the other devotees.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best way of praying. Then we can feel, if I can pray for you, then what I can understand that I'm in the process of purification.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to mention.
Yeah, and the same thing applies. I can extend that same. Thank you, Prabhu, for bringing up that point. I can extend that same point to asking others to pray for you. That means you are showing your humility, because now you are saying the other person is more, the better person than you are. He is a better, servant of Krishna. So you are allowing that person to say, please pray for me. So that's the humility process again. So there are a lot of interesting things when you start going deeper and deeper into these concepts. A simple thing, what is a prayer? Anybody can tell you what a prayer is, but when you start getting deeper into what those things are, why and when your prayer becomes strong and meaningful is only by going through these different aspects of a prayer. I hope this was useful in some ways. I'll stop here. With that, I think I see, Prabhu, have you been here before, or is this your first time? Is this your first time, Prabhu? Oh, interesting. Welcome, welcome. My name is Ajai Dasa, and I'm the temple coordinator here. And he's going to, can you please, can I have your name? Upendra. So thank you very much, the Prabhuji, for coming. And how did you hear about our program?
Lakshmi called me.
Okay. Very good. Thank you so much. I hope you will come regularly. This is how our regular program goes. And winter, a lot of people are finding it difficult to come because they have small children now. Some of our congregation members are very young. But we hope, as the weather gets better, we'll see. We normally get about 40-50 people on a good day. So we hope we'll get to that point very soon again. Mataji, you are also here for the first time?
I'm here.
Oh, welcome. What's your name, Mataji? Lakshmi. Oh, so you actually...
I informed him that I'm going here. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, please. Tell us a little more of, how did you come to know about our program and things like that, Mataji?
Mataji told me that they are doing every Saturday. So I knew that it is happening, but I did not get the time.
Oh, okay.
But today somehow Krishna at 3:30 told me you have to go there, so I just came.
Thank you. It's our pleasure to have you here. And I hope you found this program useful. We will be, each time we have a different topic that we go through, and most of our lectures are based out of scriptures, whether it is Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. So we try to analyze some of those finer aspects and how we apply to our daily life. This is all we're trying to do here. And there's the good interaction that happens. People do ask some questions. People come, with some expectations. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And please take their contact information so that we can add them to the distribution list, okay? So, do we have time or we are done?
Now we'll be reading the Prasadam mantra.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna. So now we'll be reciting the Prasad mantra. Please repeat after me. Jai Jai Mahaprasad ki
Jai.
Mahaprasade Govinde
प्रसादे गोविंदे
नमो ब्राह्मणे वैष्णवे
नमो ब्राह्मणे वैष्णवे
स्वल्पपुण्यवतां राजन् विश्वासनवजायते शरीरा विद्या
जाल
जड़ इंद्रिय ताहिका
जो इंद्रिय ताहिका
जीवे फले विषय सागरे
जीवे फले विषय सागरे
तार मध्य जीवावती
तारामती जीवती
लोभमय सुधर्मति
लोभमय सुधर्मति
ताके जेता कठिन संसारे
ताके जितना कठिन संसार
कृष्ण वर दयामय
कृष्ण बड़ा दयामय
कोरी बारे जीवा जाय
कोरी बारे जीवा जाय
सप्रसाद दिला भाई
सप्रसाद न भाई
से प्रसादम अमृत पाई
से अमृत पाई
राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ
राधा कृष्ण गुना गाओ
प्रेमे डाक चैतन्य निताय
प्रेमे ठाकुर चैतन्य
जय निताय जय निमाय
जय निताय जय निमाय
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
प्रभु नित्यानंद
प्रभु नित्यानंद
श्री अद्वैत गदाधर
श्री अद्वैत गदाधर
श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद
श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा
कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे
कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे
हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
राम राम हरे हरे
जय जय मां प्रसाद की
जय।
All goes to the assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा